Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Bix Weir, roadtour.com. It is Sunday, the 5th of November. So much going on. A big week next week. Cliff sees a lot of stuff in his data coming up next week, so expect something big. Will it be a financial collapse? Don't know. It could, obviously. All the banks are insolvent. So before I get to that, by the way, we did have a banking problem on Friday, and one bank collapsed. But make sure you private road members go to the private road. I posted something extremely important about the silver market that nobody's talking about. Extremely important. Go check it out. It's right here. It's an end of year special report. Silver alert. Prepare yourself for a silver announcement that will shock the world. And I'm not being hyperbolic. Is that the word? No. This isn't overly promotive. This is a fact. We're about to see something happen that's going to blow your freaking mind. Anyway, go check it out. Private road, roadtoruta.com. If you're not on the private road, click on subscribe today. And it's a 1-year membership, $2.99, less than $1 a day. And we send you the coolest silver coin ever made, the Silver Ruta Lives coin. So go check that out. All right. Citizens Bank becomes the 5th bank to fail in 2023. And a lot of people have heard of Citizens Bank. This is not the big one or the big ones. There's 155 different banks with Citizens Bank in their title. So, and by the way, none of these are for the good of the citizen. I'll just tell you that right now. This is a small bank, but it is interesting that it is a non-member of the Federal Reserve System. So they still get FDIC insurance, but the Fed isn't bailing them out. They can't suck on the Fed's tit because they are a non-bank. They are a non-Federal Reserve Bank. So 2 branches of Citizens Bank will reopen in Iowa on Monday. Banking crisis continues in the U.S. as another regional American bank shuts shop. The government has shut down Citizens Bank due to financial issues, allowing the FDIC to take control without providing any public warning. FDIC issued a statement on November 3rd stating the action taken on Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank is the 5th bank to fail in the nation this year. Other banks failed. List shows Heartland, Tri-State Bank, First Republic Bank, Signature Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, and First Citizens Bank as other banks shut down in 2023. The shutdown started on March 10th, 2023, with First Citizens Bank going down under. FDIC statement. Citizens Bank, here, let's go to the horse's mouth. Citizens Bank was closed today by the Iowa Division of Banking, which appointed the FDIC as receiver. To protect depositors, meaning to protect not only depositors that have FDIC insurance, but depositors that have over FDIC insurance. Non-insured depositors were bailed out once again by the FDIC. And they do it, they don't say much when they do it, but it's tricky. They say, oh, we had to pay out this lump sum, but they don't say, okay, how much is actually going, how much of the entire restructure is going to the uninsured depositors versus the insured depositors. It's 100%. Everybody got bailed out, which the FDIC is not allowed to do unless you say, oh, we have this other bank to take it over, and there's going to be a little shortfall of, I think it was like 15%, 20% of their capital. That I don't know if that's legal, but it's what they're doing. So they're bailing out the uninsured depositors, pulling money out of the DIF fund, the deposit insurance fund, which doesn't have enough money to bail out all the banks. So it'll be interesting. 2 branches of Citizens Bank will open as branches of Iowa Trust and Savings Bank on Monday during normal business hours. Depositors of Citizens Bank will be depositors of Iowa Trust Savings Bank, so customers do not need to change their banking relationship in order to retain their deposit insurance coverage. By the way, if you have anything over $250,000 in the bank, you either structure it properly with a lot of beneficiaries, or move it to multiple banks, or get the hell out of the banking system and buy as much silver as you can. Obviously, the latter is the most important thing to do. As of September 30th, 2023, Citizens Bank had approximately $66 million in total assets with $59 million in total deposits. In addition, well, the $66 million is marked to 100% par value. So all the mortgage-backed securities, all their treasuries that are completely underwater, that's counting those. Now that's the key. That is the key for the Fed bailouts. Let me show you what the Fed bailouts do. This is the Bank Term Fund Program funding program. This is what the Fed set up at the beginning of the year when those banks started to fail. Basically, it's an unlimited credit line, and you can give your shitty assets, U.S. Treasuries that are worth a lot less than they were a couple years ago, and mortgage-backed securities, those are obviously falling apart. You can give them to the Fed for 100% loan at 100% par value, meaning whatever you have it on your books for, or whatever it says on the mortgage-backed security, is what they're going to assume they're going to get, which is not true. So so you can see it started right here. This is from the Fed St. Louis. This is what they've given out so far. These are bank bailouts, flat out bank bailouts. We're going to take your shitty assets. We're going to pay 100% on the dollar for them. As of today, they're at $109 billion worth of shitty assets that basically banks went in, got the cash out because they needed this cash. So banks within the Federal Reserve System, needed $110 billion just to stay liquid. Had that not happened, had this not been there, all these banks would have had to sell these deteriorating assets, which will push the assets even farther down. That's what they're trying to stop. So they just open the kimono and say, hey, give us your crap. We'll give you 100% on the dollar, and we'll charge you. They got to pay interest on this stuff. And here's a real good sheet of what the difference is. Like right now, banks usually get their bailouts from the discount window. But the discount window at the Fed would, under here, collateral valuation, the discount window is collateral is valued at its fair market value. So the fair market value of these assets is probably 50% of what they got loaned at. And then you can see right here, the BTFP, the Bank Term, Bank Term Funding Program. Collateral will be valued at its par value or the outstanding face amount of the collateral. So the Fed's saying, we'll give you free money. And yeah, you got to pay us interest. It's like, I think it's like 5 or 6% right now with the high interest rates. But at the same time, you're going to stay solvent. And oh, by the way, you can keep all that rehypothecated money out on lend. You don't have to call any loans or anything like that, at least to some point. Now, the reason that these guys couldn't do it, Iowa Trust and Savings Bank, Citizens Bank, the reason they couldn't do it is they were not a member. And this is a great discussion right here on the Bank Reg blog, Bank Failure in Iowa. Shows right here. This evening, the FDIC announced that Citizens Bank, a $66 million asset non-member bank based in Sac City, Iowa, had failed. As is standard, the FDIC's announcement was fairly terse, announcing that all deposits had been assumed by Iowa Trust and Savings Bank, and the estimated loss to the DIP is expected to be $14.8 million without going into any further reasons for the failure. Well, we all know what the failures are. These banks are failing because the assets that they have their Tier 1 capital in, the U.S. Treasuries and mortgage-backed securities, are all being gutted and destroyed. If they had to sell them today, these are the unrealized losses of the banks. They're massive. I think December 10th or so, the FDIC will come out and tell us that number has probably jumped to over $1 trillion that the banks are sitting on right now of losses. And it's getting worse, by the way. So, yeah, they had to let this one go because these guys could not borrow from the Fed. So the FDIC had to let them go. The FDIC is going to lose $14 million. I know it's not a massive amount. But how much of that $14 million is going to would have been not had to pay? They wouldn't have had to pay any of the FDIC non-insured deposits, which are deposits over $250,000 per person. So they don't tell you how much. That's how they do it. They turn the FDIC into the receiver, and that receiver sells off the majority of the bank, all the good assets and the good deposits, good assets, over to a different bank, which is, for them, they're like, yeah, we can grow, but we're not going to take any of these shit assets. So the shit assets, the FDIC has to keep or sell off. I don't know. They probably just pay the bank what the value of the cheap assets. Although I don't think any bank would want these assets on their books now because it's just going to get worse. A really interesting time. But again, this bank closed because they were a non-member bank of the Federal Reserve System. They're still FDIC insured, up to $250,000 per person. The FDIC bailed them out, plus they bailed out anybody who had over $250,000 because they were able to structure it so they don't have to tell you about it. It's the structure that kills you. Anyway, basically it means more money going out of the DIF fund, which means less money for you if you have $250,000, up to $250,000 of FDIC insurance. By the way, they're not going to have the money. When the banks collapse, they're not going to have even close to the amount of money needed. I think they insure between $8 and $12 trillion. Imagine an insurance company, oh yeah, we'll insure that for $12 trillion, but we only have $120 billion in our DIF fund, in our bank. I know, right? So keep an eye on that. Sign of things to come, of course it is. The banks are freaking, I don't know when they're going to start crashing again. Could be any day, could be any week. It might not be the catalyst. They might blame everything on war. It's war's fault. That seems like where it's going, so it can shut down the COMEX, and all the shorts get off because of war. It's force majeure war. All the banks fail because of war. It's just so ridiculous. Anyway, if you guys haven't noticed, Theta is looking good these days. Yes, Theta is the most undervalued of all the cryptos. It's not like Vertasium that's a lottery ticket that might happen in the future, and if it does happen, the stars have to align. Theta is going to happen, is happening now, and is massively undervalued. I do see Theta going into the thousands at some point down the line. So most Road to Root people already have their Theta. You can get it at, they don't sell it on any of the U.S. exchanges. You can get it on, go through a broker is what we suggest. If you go to roadtoroot.com, click on affiliates. There's a broker down here, Caleb and Brown, a good crypto broker. You can buy through them and get a discount. Go click on that page. You get a discount on your on the fees they charge, and get it in your own possession. After you buy it from them, get it in your own possession, and then wait it out. Again, Theta's looking good. Theta Fuel is bumping up too. Theta is going to be. I just had finished this book. Let me tell you what it's called. I did it on book on tape type of thing. It's called The Metaverse by Matthew Ball, written about 1 or 2 years ago. I'm at the part where they're saying, what's the hardware needed for the metaverse to actually happen? It's massive buildup of broadband, especially in the cities where the last mile problem is, where there's so much data going through, they can't handle it. The content delivery networks can't handle it. That's what Theta solves. And does the world want to spend trillions of dollars to upgrade broadband on every country on the planet, trillions of dollars, just to be max out in another 10 years? Or does it want to click a mouse and download the Theta Edge node on every single computer, every smart TV, every electronic asset that has a CPU and a hard drive, and run a Theta Edge node, and thus sharing the broadband capacity of that computer, the stuff you're not using, of your TV? It is the amazing invention, and there's so much more to it, but just that could save humanity. So that's why I got into Theta in the very beginning, is because I saw what it was. And I wrote it in my song. This is broadband expansion. Broadband expansion without spending trillions of dollars. And the benefits you can get from this, everybody having an edge node earning T-fuel. If you want a universal basic income, because AI is taking over every job, what a way to do it. If you have a TV or a computer, anywhere in the world, you can have a Theta edge node downloaded on it, and it can all be good. It can be done, for example, Apple computer. Click a mouse, download on an update. This update will save the world. Run an edge node on your computer, and all of a sudden we don't have a broadband problem. Imagine 2-3 billion people sharing their broadband. And just imagine what that would do to the price of Theta. That's the kind of world that Michelle White Dove had seen for Theta. As a matter of fact, Dick Allgaier and the crypto viewing guys, when Dick first started viewing cryptocurrencies, the first word that flashed in his head, Theta. That was the first word. I don't even think Theta was out yet. But once you dive in a little deeper on Theta, what it is, Amazon can run a blockchain on the Theta blockchain so that they don't have a proprietary blockchain. You don't want to have a proprietary blockchain if you're selling goods because you could cheat. So Theta has subchains. They're not called subchains. What do they call them? Let's go to the Theta website. It's all right there. I mean, you can learn really fast what Theta is. Just go to the Theta website. Here is their infrastructure. Metachain is what they call it. You can build your own blockchain off the Theta blockchain. It's amazing. But here's the 5 pillars. Web3 video API, lower your costs to encode, store, and deliver. So store is the big one. And this is why some of the Theta partners are like, oh shit, this is too good a technology. Google, how much money do they make in the Google Cloud and Amazon Cloud and Apple Cloud and all the clouds? It could all be done decentralized through Theta, believe it or not. Global edge network, share broadband, that's the big one. That's why it was invented in the first place, to be a content delivery network. Basically, and it works. The technology works. And it's a software download. I keep screaming. Gary Gensler, Theta is not a cryptocurrency, it's a software. It's just like Veritasium is a software download. It's prepaid software. Peer-to-peer transactions. These are not securities. I know you want to do this for the banking system so that it stays together a little longer. Your financial system is criminal and corrupt. Do not try to save them. We need to move forward. Decentralize everything, and that's what Theta is going to be. It's not fully decentralized. There's Theta Labs making sure that this thing is up and running, but a lot of it is absolutely decentralized, such as the approval of transactions through the validators and Guardian node methodology, unbelievably fast and secure. Because not only do you have the big guys who are instantly approving transactions, if you've done a Theta transaction, you know how fast it is. Not only do you have those guys, but you have the Guardians, myself included, making sure that they're doing it right, so they can't lie, cheat, and steal. It's a brilliant way to have the fastest blockchain possible. I know there's other faster ones. It takes like 1 or 2 seconds. I think it's faster than your regular you go to an ATM and you use your Visa card. You have to wait a few seconds. That's what you do with Theta. You wait a few seconds. Not like Bitcoin, you wait 10 minutes. Anyway, the metachain is where other companies can create their own blockchain, the Amazon blockchain, off the customizable, highly scalable blockchain for your Web3 business. Oh, by the way, Theta functions exactly like Ethereum as far as the blockchain. Yes, you can do smart contracts right off the Theta blockchain. It uses the same programming language as Ethereum. And then you have the enterprise validators. These are the big guys. And then their work is checked by the little guys like myself. And then you have NFTs. Now, NFTs is a completely different world. It got all the pump and excitement because of little cartoon characters selling for millions of dollars. That's not what the beauty of NFT is. They're smart contracts. Come on. You could call it a non-fungible token. They're really just smart contracts. What is a smart contract? It's programmable money. It's like all the businesses that work off Ethereum. Those are all off of smart contracts, like Veritasium. It's a smart contract. And that's what NFTs are. And you can apply it to anything, really. So you can create a smart contract that says, this is what this is for, and this is the date stamp. The key is the date stamp. And then whatever you program in, programmable money. So go check it out. Theta, big thumbs up. I heard the Theta Con. I think it's still going on. Might not be, but I think it's the last day. Very huge success. Everybody in Theta knows how big this is going to be. I don't think they know how big it's going to be. Everybody has the part of Theta that they like. But when you look at it and say the whole world is moving into an AI type of world with everybody and their mother being online, and we don't have the broadband capacity. In my local township, they're saying they want to spend like $10 million expanding broadband for the poor people and all that. And I'm like, use Theta. Have everybody download an EdgeNode. I'm going to follow up on that too. Why not? If it solves the problem, and it does solve the problem. So that's what I got for you. As far as the election, half the Democrats are now completely against Joe Biden because they're the whole Israel-Palestine thing going on. This contrived whatever. I don't take sides. I don't know why the hell we're involved at all. We shouldn't be. I've been screaming for decades, bring our troops home, put them on our borders, and we're done. Everybody's going to stop trading with each other very soon. And then what's the U.S. going to do? If China doesn't make all our goods, how are we going to, shop at Walmart? Walmart would be shut the next day. That's what we're headed into. But as far as Joe Biden losing half his voting, not like he had a lot of voters on his side other than the riggers. And that's coming out too. A lot of information coming out there. But now the Democrats have no choice but to claim force majeure. That's what the Democrats are going to try to do. We can't have an election because we have a war. Oh my God, it's getting so bad. But no, there will be no presidential debates. There'll be no more elections, truthfully, I don't think, in America. Not in America as we know right now. That's why we really do have a time stamp as to when the system has to fall apart. It's November, what's voting day, November 4th of 2024, something like that. No chance in hell we'll get there, obviously. But now you got the entire Democratic Party splitting apart, and they're both ridiculous. Both the arguments are ridiculous. That's where we are. And then this just killed me. Queers for Palestine, identity politics at its most absurd. Palestinians, LGBT groups saying, "Oh yeah, we are on the side of Palestine." By the way, if you were LGBTQ in Palestine, they would kill you. So that's how absurd the crazy Democrats are now. And they have done their best to destroy our country. I think we'll come back. I'm not so sure. We can come back from what they've done to our country. Millions and millions of people came through our borders that we don't even know who they are or who their allegiance are for. Apparently, a lot of them are for Palestine. And wait till the Jews come out. Don't talk about the Jews, Bix. The whole thing's so fucking ridiculous. I'm an American. If you're not an American, it might be a good time to leave. Go back to your country. Take care of your own people. Do what you will in your own country. It's not a time to have illegal aliens in the United States of America. I'm all for amnesty. If they pledge the allegiance to the United States, they get sworn in as a citizen. Absolutely. There's amazing people that have come into our country that are illegal aliens. But there are a lot of people who are absolutely anti-American. That's my country. I'm going to fight for my country. Are you? I know a lot of my friends are. It's coming to that time where we have to fight for our country. And it will be guns in the streets of America. Hopefully it'll be done in a sane way. But, if you arm the population, say, oh, everybody defend yourself, you won't have these mass murders. Why? Because as soon as somebody starts going crazy in a movie theater, you're taken out by 20 other patriots. That's the kind of world we're living in. I hate to tell you, but that's what it's come down to. It's either that or the security state where they lock you up and take away all your freedom. I can't think of anything worse for the American people. All right, that's what I got for you. Go to roadtoruta.com if you want to subscribe to the private road. Get your silver Ruta coin. So cool, so cool. If you're a silver investor, you need to watch this video. It'll blow you away, and nobody's talking about it yet. So that's what I got. This is Bix. Talk to you later.